guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's going on, everyone? Ancap24 here from HuddleGG. Today's video, we're going to talk about a specific RPO that I touched in last week's video. I'm getting a lot of questions on because they saw how powerful it was. They wanted me to go a little bit further on it. Now, the good news is, guys, is that I already went over this RPO in really great detail and built a whole scheme off of it. My last game plan in the Arizona Cardinals part 2 that I put out about 2 weeks ago. I will go over this play for those that were asking, but if you want to see how you can use this as a scheme, you're definitely going to want to check that out, okay? Now, the reason why I actually started that whole game plan with this, if you look at the screen right now, it's the first play that I start off with, and I show you basically how good it is against nickel coverages and pinch D line and blitzing slot corners, and basically show you what you want to attack it with, because I believe this play is one of the best plays out there to pick what your opponent can play against you. And that's why we wanted to go over it. Now, I like to give credit to where credit's due. Pick'em is the one that taught me this play. He uses it in his spread offense, something that he's going to be releasing soon, where you're gonna see this play as well. So you can have two different options if you really like this style of which game plan you wanna take a look at. So definitely keep that in mind as I go through the video. So the first thing is nickel coverages, guys. Let's talk about this, right? Nickel coverages, by definition, is only going to have one slot cornerback, right? A nickel meaning there's 5 DBs, right? That's where the nickel comes from. There's 5, and that means that one of the slot corners is basically going to be over one player or the other, right? So in this instance, it's almost always going to be on the side of the running back unless they run it flipped for some reason, right? Well, if it's on the side of the running back, you can see they have this defended really, really well. Well, if I flip the play, you're going to see how the tight end has nobody over him, and the P icon is the one that's responsible for him. Remember that R icon, it doesn't matter what we do with him. We can man him up, right? I can take him up. I can try to man him up on the A. Actually, I can't do that. But I can try to put him in a zone. I can do whatever I want with this icon here, right? We'll put him on a hard flat, right? It will not matter here because he is going to play the run. He has the R icon on him. You see, he comes in here, we throw it out here, and we're going to get ourselves some really big yards because of the way this play works. When people are running nickel coverage, the only way they're going to be able to stop this is if they don't play baseline, they play a default coverage, and they basically play a one high safety. What does that mean? A cover 1 or a cover 3. If they play cover 4, cover 2, cover 3 cloud, cover 3 seam, anything in that where there's 2 high safeties, they can't go ahead and stop this. That's really, really big because a lot of times what you're gonna see how I have Minister of Defense over here all glowed up? A lot of people are using unstoppable forces right now, and they're using it out of 4 D lineman sets because what they're looking at is they wanna make sure that they don't get their guys double teamed, right? They double team, that slows them down a little bit. And because of that, and because of the fact that they're knowing when they have the unstoppable forces out there, people are going to try to run the ball as well, that they're trying to do their best to set this up. So when you're facing a lot of nickel coverages early in the game, and this is a great way to get them out of it, right? Now, what else is this really good against, right? Let's go ahead and show you. Pinch D line. We talked about this in the last video. Again, if you haven't seen that video, we'll put it at the end of this video for you. We'll link it in, okay? Pinch D line is a huge thing. A lot of people are playing dollar. Well, when they play dollar, in order to stop the run, you almost always have to pinch your line in order to make sure that they go ahead and get those tackles to come down to where those corners come and play. But when you pinch the line, we talked about this in the last video, it now puts the run defender, that R icon, on a player who we want to throw to. So again, what we're going to do here is we're going to throw this out here. We're going to kind of set ourselves up for an easy 6, 7, 8 yards. This is going to put a lot of strain on the defense. So if they want to play nickel, we're going to go attack the opposite side of the nickel. If they want to play dollar, we're going to see, do they pinch their line or don't they? If they don't pinch their line, we're just going to hand this ball off and we're going to have ourselves an easy run. It's just that simple, right? So if they want to play dollar, they're going to have to really do a hard job of it. Now, a lot of times you're going to see people get it smart. We're going to basically do this where they're going to try to do their best to take one side away, right? So what a lot of times I'll see is they'll do something like this. Well, they'll pinch their line and they'll try to go ahead and user one side or the other, right? But when they do that, we're going to be able to flip the play, kind of do the same thing that we've talked about, right? Say they're in this spot over here, and they're trying to stop this. It doesn't matter where they do it, as long as that our icon is not attached when they pinch the line. We're going to be able to run this over and over again, right? So at this point, they really can't run nickel. They really can't run dollar effectively the way they want to, because a lot of people understand that dollar, there's some meta blitzes that almost always start with pinching the line to stop the run, to stop the way that they're doing their blitzes. That's going to help you run this play more than anything, right? They're already showing you that. The thing that people are going to do, they're like, you know what? I'm going to basically blitz these corners like DB Fire to, right? And we'll put these guys in kind of a lot of times what you're going to see is something like this, right? They're going to cloud one side like this and put their go like this, right? And they can press these guys. It doesn't matter. But this is what you're going to see a lot, especially if they don't pinch their players and they're trying to defend the run with extra players, right? So they're doing that. Well, if they're blitzing the corner, that guy who's supposed to be in that guard, he's no longer in that spot. We're going to be able to kill him that way. So it doesn't matter if it's nickel. It doesn't matter if they're pinching their dollar. It doesn't matter if they're blitzing the cornerbacks. This play is really going to be something that's nice. Now, what you'll see sometimes is that, say you're in a nickel, right? And they're in a nickel, and let's just call, again, it doesn't matter what we call, but basically we'll just grab one of these. And we go ahead and flip it, and they try to flip with us, right? And they flip with us to where now they're on the same side as the bubble. Well, that's not ideal because, we can go back and forth on the flipping game, but at the end of the day, we only have so many flips before we get a false start. So you have to understand that you're going to want to also know how to hand this ball off. Now, you see how the tight end has an A icon over him? That's typically the handoff button, right? It's the bottom of your controller. So if it's in the PlayStation, it would be the X. Well, in this situation, we need to know how to learn how to hand this ball off. All you got to do is hike the ball with the bottom icon and never let it go, okay? So if you do this and you never let it go, you're going to see how you're going to have the ability to hand the ball off. If you let it go, you really basically have to hold on to that before he has an opportunity to pass. Because if you do this, where I just hike the ball and then I try to hand it off, you see that it's going to go to the A icon, right? Because that's the player that you're throwing to. So what you need to make sure you do, and to learn basically how to do this, is make sure that you are, if they go ahead and flip with you and make sure that they're over there, you need to press the hike button and never let it go. And that's going to give you the opportunity to get a really nice run play, and you can see how you can have a lot of success with that run play as well, right? So it really depends on how you want to use this play. Now, what are people going to do, okay? Now, if that opponent is pretty smart, what he's going to do is he's going to get out of nickel. He's going to like, you know what, I need to have 2 slot corners. And he's not going to go to dollar, he's going to go to dime. The reason why you go to dime is because you got 4 down linemen, it's going to help you against the run, you got 2 slot corners. But even when they do that, guys, what's going to end up happening a lot, what you're going to see this P icon, he's basically going to not always play this unless they man him up or put him in like a 0-yard flat. And I'll show you what I mean, right? Do this here, I throw this here, you can see we're still going to get 4 or 5 yards. That's going to drive them nuts. So what they're going to do is they're going to start manning this guy up, right? If they man him up, you're just going to be one step ahead of him. Just call a play and put that player that's manned up on a streak, put the outside guy on a curl, and what you're going to see is that we've now got nobody on the flat. You're going to see how this is going to be an easy throw, and you're going to be good to go. If the user was to go ahead and try to cover that, the flat was open, right? You had a high-low there, basically. If they go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to go to underneath coverage and I'm going to do hard flats. Basically, it's the same type deal, right? We could do something the same thing where we're going to put the X on a curl, the Y on a streak, and then we'll just do something just to make sure that if the user goes, somewhere, we have something in the middle of the field. We'll do something like this, right? So if they go and do this, the X is going to be, and again. So you're going to see here that when you start making them have to defend this RPO or be as, conscious every single play, I'm not going to let this RPO beat me, it opens up your entire game plan. And that's what basically this game plan was predicated around, with scheming. Start with the RPO, get them worried about it, and you're going to see that not only is it going to be the spread, but it's got the ability to have the doubles Y flex as the secondary, because if you look at this, when we go ahead and we do this, it looks just like us flipping the play to where we were running the bubble. So now we got all these plays where we're going to attack this player, who, this guy, is the one that they're going to try to man up, and we're going to be able to kind of do that. So that's what this video was about, guys. How to use a play, show a play, make it hard for somebody to stop, make them worry about it, and then absolutely get them to be frustrated all game trying to stop it while you're running everything else around what they have to do to stop it, right? They can't run nickel. They can't pinch their D-line. They can't blitz their corners. You know, if they don't do that, we're going to run on them on dollar. If they go to dime, now what we're going to do is force them to man up the player or play hard flats. You're always one step ahead. And that's what scheming does, guys. Check out this our game plan on our website if you're interested in seeing how to use this play in an ultimate scheme. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Appreciate y'all.